Hello, and welcome to the From the Top podcast and interview series. I'm your host, Mike Martin, and I'm joined today by Dmitry Nullman, principal and founder of NewConfig. Dmitry, thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely, Mike. Happy to be here.
Great. So maybe you can introduce yourself and your company a little bit.
Sure. My name is Dmitry Nullman. I run NewConfig, which is an IT sales and financial staffing search firm. We're based right outside of Northeast Philadelphia in Huntington Valley. Been in business since 2012. There's nine of us here. Well, we have a revenue of about 1.5 million, 1.6 million in 2023. 2022, we were even higher, close to 2 million,
Hmm.
but things went down. We could talk about it in the podcast.
Yeah,
About myself, married, three kids. I like to run. I just ran the Broad Street Run in Philadelphia.
great.
Love doing that. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
a little bit about me.
Perfect. Well, yeah, running is great. That's cool that you ran the Broad Street Run because I'm in the Philadelphia area as well, so I'm familiar with it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe tell us a little bit about how you got started. Like, what was the entrepreneurial spark for you to start your own business?
Okay, so I think the best way to take it is back. So I'm 38. Let's take it back all the way back to well, when I graduated college. I graduated college in '07,
Okay.
and a long time ago now, almost 20 years ago. And it was a horrible time to go into the markets. I wanted to be a trader, which is even worse.
Okay.
And Lehman Brothers was collapsing. Subprime issues were happening. The market crashed in '08, and that's when I decided to become a trader. So
Mhm.
I moved to Chicago. I got a job to become a proprietary trader, and I did it for 3 years. And I was a horrible trader. I was just really bad at it. Um,
Okay.
I would blame the market, but that's not true. 90% of that was me. I just couldn't make money as a trader. And after 3 years, when I was 24, I graduated college when I was 21. When I was 24, I moved back into my parents' basement and I got a job in IT. I got a
Okay.
job as a IT specialist at Amerisource Bergen, which is the
Oh,
biggest company in the Philadelphia area. No one really knows about it because it runs under the radar. Everyone thinks it's Comcast, but it's
yeah.
not. It's
Yeah.
Amerisource Bergen. And what they do is they are a drug dealer. They don't make any drugs, they just distribute them. They are your regular drug dealer. And back then, my numbers are dated. Back then, I think they were making, this was circa 2010. They were making about 60 billion, but the profit margin was about like 300 million. So like on everything they sold, they made like 50 cents or something.
Yeah.
And I got I got there when they were doing a brand new IT implementation to become even more efficient. Because when you're only making 10 cents on everything you sell, you want to cut your costs to make sure you keep those 10 cents and costs don't drag you down. So they
Right.
were going through an IT implementation of German software called SAP.
Yes.
And I got on the ground floor to help them do that implementation. And I would have recruiters call me all the time, asking me to switch jobs. And I
Mm.
think I was making 70,000 or 75,000 at the time, and they would offer me 80,000. They just wouldn't stop. They would just keep calling me. And
Hmm.
eventually, I uh, got to talk to one of them. I got fed up and angry and frustrated. And I'm like, why do you guys keep calling me? I'm making 70,000, 75. You're offering me 80 or 78. Like, why would I switch jobs? Why does
Right.
this matter to you so much? Like, leave me alone. Stop calling me. And
Right.
one of the guys on the phone explained to me that if I switch jobs, he makes 20% of base salary, of my base salary. So
Mm.
let's say it's 80,000, he makes 80,000 times 20%, $16,000. And that is when my eyes lit up. And
Mm.
I
Mm.
started thinking, you make 16 grand if I switch jobs, you know nothing about IT. You know
Right.
nothing about SAP software or what I do. I could run circles around you. You're asking me about 5 years in a technology that's only been out for 3 years. You literally know nothing. I could do this better than you. That's
Mhm.
the first thought of an entrepreneur in my thinking. I could do it better than you.
Yeah.
So I thought I could, and I bootstrapped the business. In 2012, I started. I was still working as an IT consultant. I left AmerisourceBergen because I wanted to make more money. And the way you make more money in IT is you become a consultant. And
Hmm.
and the reason you make more money as a consultant is consultants travel. There's a lot more responsibilities on their shoulders because they travel and they actually do the configuration. They actually install
Right.
the systems.
Right.
While people inside a company, they just own it, and they deal with the bugs. The consultants actually install it. So there's more responsibility on them. Plus, they travel. You add that up, they make about 20% more than an average IT person. So if an average IT person makes $75,000 a year, a consultant makes 20% more, about 90,000 or 100,000. So
Hmm.
they make more money. And I was about 25 years old at the time, and I didn't have a family. I had a long-term girlfriend who became my wife, but I didn't really need to travel. I mean, I didn't need to, I could travel. I had
Right.
nothing stopping me. So I wanted to make more money, and I became a consultant. And on the side, I started doing recruiting.
Mm.
And because I realized that if I got this going, my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, wanted me to stop traveling because we wanted to eventually start a family.
Right.
Plus, I thought it was very lucrative. If I staff 5 people, if I was making 90,000 as a consultant or 95, if I staff 5 people, that's more than my consulting salary, and that I'm making more money than all my friends or anyone
Right.
I know.
Right.
So that's the way I started. I started NewConfig in March 2012, and I didn't make any money my first year. I
Mm.
cold called, I emailed, I texted, and that was something I really realized in the recruiting world. It doesn't matter what you know, because I knew IT. I could run circles around these other IT recruiters, but it's
Right.
who you know. And I
Right.
didn't know anybody. So recruiting is very much a relationship-based business. People give you business because they trust you. And the
Yeah.
way they trust you is you have to have done business with them in the past for them to trust you. And it's a catch-22. How do
Yeah.
you do business with them if you've never done business with them?
Right.
That's really, really hard. And I realized that the hard way in 2012 when I started cold calling. What would happen is I would cold call during lunch and after work hours. A lot of places I traveled to were Central Time. So there were
Mm.
about an hour difference than on the East Coast. So then if I finished work at 5:30 for another hour from 4:30 Eastern to 5:30 Eastern, which was already later Central, I could cold call, which is
Yeah.
what I did. Or I guess I had time. Whatever it was, I was able to cold call from 4:30 Central. I started cold calling, or 3:30 Central. Whenever I would finish my work as a consultant, I would cold call. And
Hmm.
that's what I did. And I made no money in 2012. All my friends and family thought I should give up. 2013, it got even worse. I finally got a client, but so what do you do when you get a client? I didn't have a database. I know how to tell if someone is a great IT candidate, but I don't have a database to call. So I
Right.
needed a database. So I bought this database called Dice,
Mm.
and it cost me about $7,000. I could have bought it monthly, but I was very gun ho and proud of myself, and uh, I bought it for a year. And the way they do business in recruiting is they give 3 or 4 agencies a chance to fill the role. And it's called contingency. You only get paid if you fill the role. So if only
Right.
one of the agencies finds someone, the other 3 agencies hit the rocks. They don't make any money.
Right.
I didn't realize that's how the recruiting world works. So I finally got a client to sign a contract. I bought Dice, the database, and um, I started recruiting, and I finally found him some great candidates for this client. And then I
Yeah.
sent them in, and the client goes, "Sorry, we filled the role through another agency." And I'm like, "What do you mean we filled the role? We have a signed contract. I
Right.
bought this database." I didn't say that to him. Like, we have a database. We're ready to help
Right.
you." He's
Right.
like, "Yeah, but another agency sent this person. He was a great fit. We hired him. If we have another need, we'll call you." And thanks, but no thanks.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, well, this was February of 2013. I thought like things, it's only the beginning of the year. I could uh, fill other roles. I'll find new clients. Nope. I cold called and emailed all of 2013. I didn't get a single client.
Wow.
So 2012, I made zero money in recruiting. 2013, I lost 6 or 7 grand in recruiting. So that's how I started in IT recruiting.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
2014 got better. I finally got clients. I started doing marketing, Google Ads, SEO, still cold calling, still emailing, and I finally got clients. And I think I staffed 4 or 5 roles in 2014. It took me 3 years, 2.5 years to
Wow.
get to that point where I thought I would be in March of 2012. It took me
Right.
until like July or August of 2014. And it finally started doing well. I was making about 100,000 in consulting, another 80,000 in recruiting. I was doing great. That's the most money I ever made.
Yeah.
However, my employer at the time, Accenture, they're no dummies.
Yeah.
And they realized that my productivity went down.
Mm.
Why? Because I was spending most of my time recruiting and not doing IT consulting. So they let me go in April of 2015.
Mm.
And that was a very stressful time for me because I didn't know what I was going to do. Should I go back and find another IT consulting job? Should I focus 100% on recruiting? But looking back at it, just like Steve Jobs talks about in his great speech at Stanford, you really don't know until you look back and connect the dots.
Right.
And only when you connect the dots, you see how your life fits together, how your legacy is made.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, getting fired from Accenture was the best thing that ever happened to me
Mm.
because it forced me. I decided at the time to focus on recruiting, focus 100% on recruiting.
Yeah.
And 2015, I made over $240,000 in recruiting. 2016, we made over $400,000. I
Wow.
hired my first staff, and it's been a roller coaster since then. We capped up close to 2 million in 2012. Now we went down a little bit to about 1.5 million last year. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
that's super interesting. The one thing that I'm picking up there is the determination that you showed throughout that whole process. First of all, working as a full-time consultant and utilizing the time zone, right, to have that extra hour of calling after you finished a full workday. That's pretty impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did 2 jobs. I called during my lunch hour and I did call during some work hour, and frankly that's why Accenture got rid of me.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that kind of shows like instead of just relaxing, right? You were trying to build something. You were trying to say, you know what? I'm going to do this, even if it takes using my lunch hour, using, after hours to do it. It's a lot of times that's what it really takes for
Yeah, you got to put in the time. You got to sacrifice.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and that's a very common thread that resilience and determination, so important.
I agree. I don't think if you're not willing to sacrifice your time and yourself, you're never gonna achieve anything.
Right.
It all takes sacrifice. No matter what you want to achieve, it takes your time and effort.
Oh,
And
100%. Yeah, it's
yeah,
interesting too. You mentioned Lehman Brothers. They were actually a client of mine at when I was in consulting. We were doing some Oracle consulting there, and we were engaged with them the day they shut down, and everybody kind of walked out. And I think it was in like 2007 or eight. So it's interesting. So
yeah.
you kind of talked about this year and last year a little bit. What's on the horizon there? What's kind of your plans and goals for your business coming up into the future here for the next year or so?
So the goal is to grow the team. So there's 9 of us here. I look at business in a very simple manner. Let's say I'm a manufacturer. I If I want to grow the business, I need more clients. So you hire more salespeople, you do more marketing. Once you have too many clients and not enough employees to make the widgets, you hire more employees. Once you have too many employees to make the widgets and you produce too many widgets, then you invest back into sales and marketing. So that is how I look at business very simply. Do I need more sales and marketing or do I need more employees? What I need right now is I need more sales and marketing. We need more clients because right now we have about 20, 25 positions we're working on. And we have 8 recruiters and myself and Steven, who joined the team last month. We're doing sales, but we love to have more requisitions, more open orders. The more open orders we have, the more clients we're looking to help source, help fill. We have a goal in our organization. We want to help fill 80 roles in 2024. That's our goal. And why 80? Because it's an achievable number. I think last year we did about 60. So
Okay.
it's about 30% or have you more than last year. And when we help people find jobs, not only are we helping our clients fill those roles, so we're helping our clients, but if you look at the other side, we're helping those 80 individuals. And if those 80 individuals have families of 1 child or 2 people or even a partner or whatever have you, we're 80 times 4 or 80 times 3, we're changing between 240 to 320 lives
Yeah,
just personally. Plus, if you include our clients, we're changing another 80 people's lives. So that's our goal, to help change that many lives. And if we have more positions we're working on, the more chances we have of getting there.
absolutely. Boy, I love that way of looking at it. And it is so true, right? If you can get somebody a job, you are impacting their whole family and you're changing lives.
That's right.
Certainly the way I think about it in my business and in both top-down strategies and working with Focal Point, we say we're like the pebble on the pond. You drop a pebble and those ripples echo out. By helping a company like yours hire and grow and affect more people, then we're helping them, right? You're helping the not only your clients but the people that you get in those jobs, and the clients are then helping people, and it ripples like a wave on a pond. It's amazing.
That's right.
I
The
love it.
more positive energy, more value you add, the better it is for you, um, and your
Absolutely.
organization. Another thing I'm doing is I also, um, I'll be transparent with you. A lot of people that reach out to us are job seekers.
Mm,
So even though we invest a lot in our sales and marketing, job seekers are still the biggest group of people that reach out to us, that ask us for help. And I
yeah.
find myself, um, for free, I meet with 2 or 3 of them a week, and I give them pointers on what they should do in the market to get a job. Um, that's another part of adding value. And
Great.
the reason I do that is um, value to add more positive energy, to add more, and because that's only going to help NewConfig and help me and help them. Just adding positive energy, adding value wherever I can. Uh,
100%. Yeah, the more you can do that, it will come back to you, right? The more positivity you put out there for your clients, the job seekers, and everyone you deal with, it
that's
always comes
right.
back to you. I love that. Well, that is probably an excellent place to end, because that is a fantastic message to leave the audience with. The putting out more positive energy, and it will always come back to you.
I agree. I agree.
Dmitry, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. Tons of great stuff there. And I just love your viewpoint and the energy you bring. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Absolutely. And to everyone listening, thank you as always for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.